So my VW Passat has had an advisory on the MOT test that the headlights are getting cloudy. The MOT is a test in the UK of roadworthiness that takes place every year. So what I've got is I bought this Meguiars headlight restoration kit and going to give it a go and see how much difference it makes. You can see on the packet it's showing some pretty good results, so we'll see if it actually does what it says. If you look inside the packet, we have a bottle of cleaning polish, a mop, and we have two cleaning pads which are double-sided. So having read the instructions, it suggests the first thing to do is to try using the liquid on the pad to clean it and see if that works. If it doesn't, then move over to using the pads. So we're just going to put a little bit of liquid on the pad. Just rub that in. And let's give it a go. You can see, although it's done a pretty good job, there are still some fairly stubborn marks at the bottom, so I'm going to give it a go with the pads as well now. The instructions seem to be designed for anyone who has perfect vision. Really tiny, it's a tiny slip of paper. Obviously they're doing quite well saving on paper by making it so small, but if you read this, it says you need to start with pad number 1 and then move to 2, but doing the first one you need to go on a sideways direction, and when you move to the second side go up and down, and then the same with 3 and 4. So 3 you go sideways and 4 up and down, and that should then give a perfect finish that you can then polish up again. So let's give that a go. So the instructions say that you need to keep the pad wet, so I've got a bucket of water and a brush to be able to keep the lens damp as I'm doing this. So let's give it a go. So starting with pad number 1. Just wet the lens and wet the pad and go gently side to side. Okay, we've now done the first rub over. You can see lots of scratches actually coming in here. So now we're going to use pad number 2 and go the opposite direction. And we can now move on to using pad 3. Just making sure, give it a really good wash in between the different pads to make sure you get any residue of the previous pad, any of the grit from that washed off, so it's nice and clean. Just giving it a really good wash over to clean the residue off from pad number 3, and we're just going to switch over to number 4. So this again is the up and down motion, and then once this is done we'll be able to move on to final polish. Right, so I've just been rubbing this dry to get any of the moisture off from the previous cleaning. So we've now finished the buffing and given the lens a clean over, and it's actually worked pretty well. Now done the lens on the other side, and again it looks like it's come up really nicely. The edge that was there has now disappeared, so hopefully when I take the car back for the retest next week it will no longer be an issue that's mentioned.